So Google has finally released the long-awaited August 2024 core update. And so, of course, everyone is wondering, is this when previous penalties from previous core updates and helpful content updates are finally going to be reversed? We're going to dive deep into what's going on with this update, and definitely be sure to watch till the end because we'll also go over some things that you should be doing if you were hit by this update or previous updates. All right, let's get into it. So I'm Chris Giges, and you may know me from my link building agency over at sirlinksalot.co or our other Facebook group or YouTube channel, or maybe you've seen me around at some SEO conferences or on some other podcasts, but you can go to my website for more information on me. So first up, we have the announcement. We had a summer barbecue with Reddit leadership, and they said they need more traffic. Therefore, we released the August 2024 core update. It continues our work to make Reddit dominate all search terms for every keyword possible on Earth. Oh wait, that's not the real one. The update says, today we released the August 2024 core update. It continues our work to improve the quality of our search results by showing more content that people find genuinely useful and less content that feels like it was made just to perform well on search. Okay, so yeah, first of all, it just seems like they're again targeting kind of AI spam or auto-generated content or scaled content. Here we are over on the Google Search Status Dashboard, and you can see right here, 15th August 2024, the update started rolling out. And when it's finished up, it'll have a little green check mark over here so you can check this page for updates. Summer Sensor has been in the red for about 2 weeks now, and a lot of people always say that, core updates actually start rolling out a long time before the official announcement. So in this case, it looks like that makes some sense, and it probably started rolling out at the beginning of August. And you can see over here on Algorithmic, we've been in the red for quite a long time as well. It looks like a little bit over 2 weeks, but a lot of activity really about 2 weeks right at the beginning of August. One important thing to keep in mind is that the helpful content system is now rolled into the core updates. There's no longer a separate helpful content updates. And just so you're aware, some of the big updates that affected a lot of websites were the September helpful content update over here, and then the March core update here. But there were a couple other core updates rolled in as well. And then, of course, the June spam update, which really didn't have much of an effect at all. Mary Haynes noticed that there were some changes in the core update documentation, so let's go over that real quick. I see a lot of people talking about this, but honestly, I don't really think it's that big of a deal. They added that they say most sites don't need to worry about core updates. They added that changes don't target specific sites or individual pages, meaning that if your site gets hit, it's usually a site-wide hit, and they're not actually targeting your domain because it's an algorithm and not targeting you specifically, like a manual penalty. They changed the description on how to imagine updates. Yeah, we're not going to get into that. They added that you should check Search Console if there's a drop in traffic, always a good thing to check. They added a section about assessing a large drop in positions. Again, they're saying don't look at individual pages, assess your site overall. Take a close look at your site as a whole and try to be objective, evaluate the pages that were the most impacted. And they also added this. There's also advice to avoid doing quick fix changes like removing page elements that you heard were bad for SEO. Focus on making changes that make sense for your users and are sustainable in the long term. Consider how you can improve your content in meaningful ways. And deleting content is a last resort, but it can help if you delete a bunch of, quote, unhelpful content. They changed the part about how long does it take to recover. It used to say broad core updates tend to happen every few months, but now they say if you've made improvements, it may take time to see an effect in search results. Some changes can take effect in a few days, but it could take several months for our systems to learn and confirm that the site as a whole is now producing helpful, reliable, people-first content in the long term. If it's been a few months and you still haven't seen any effect, that could mean waiting until the next core update, which is something we've been talking about on this channel for a while. And then Mark from Authority Hacker made this post on Twitter, so let's go over that real quick. He says, it sounds very much like we will see more weight given to small publishers on the SERPs. Yeah, I'm not really holding my breath on that one, but I hope it's true. 2, Google acknowledges that the feedback from publishers has gotten through. They met with the owner of House Fresh recently. Yeah, I'm not really holding my breath on this one either. Google is again emphasizing that it wants sites to create content for humans, not just to do well in search. If you're doing scaled content, this might not be a good update for you. Yeah, I think their crackdown on scaled content is just going to get harder over time. And 4, we may finally see HCU recoveries. They say that this update will better capture improvements that sites have made, and they updated their guidance on what to do if you got hit by an update. And yeah, we'll be going over this a little bit next. So first up, we're going to go over some of the big famous sites that got hit that everyone kind of says, oh, hey, these are really good examples of actually good sites. We can't understand why they got hit, so let's look what's going on with them. Number 1, we have housefresh.com here, and you can see that it looks like they still are not doing well at all. Next up, we have Travel Lemming, which got hit by the September core, and again by the March core. They're again still down to 0. Next up, we have That Fit Friend. Again, very similar situation, no sign of recovery. And then last up, Retro Dodo. Again, no signs of recovery. Next up, let's check out some sites that everyone wants to get hit and doesn't want to see them performing this well, but they still are. So here's Forbes.com. Of course, they are still doing very, very well. Next up, we have LinkedIn Pulse, and it looks like they did take a small dip that really started at the beginning of August. So looks like this update might have actually impacted LinkedIn Pulse just a little bit, but it looks like they're rebounding a little bit now. Reddit, of course, still doing very well. Looks like they are at an all-time high of almost 600 million traffic. Quora is still doing pretty well, but it looks like they're having a little cool-off period right now, but it's not really a drastic downturn. And it looks like they are starting to recover a little bit right here as well from this lost traffic. Then we have usnews.com. It looks like they're staying pretty much even. And then USA Today looks like they've lost a little bit of traffic, but overall really not that much. And I just bring up these last two because I've noticed that these two are kind of ranking for some affiliate terms where affiliate sites used to, and these have just kind of replaced them in a lot of SERPs. It's worth noting that I'm not really seeing much movement at all in sites that have been impacted myself. I'm also really not seeing much reports of any sites moving around in the SEO community overall. And it looks like the sentiment in general on this post is fairly negative. Ryan says, I suppose time will tell if these poor independent site publishers actually recover from the last round of shoddy updates you deployed. Darth Autocrat says, so basically you're still hitting HCU sites. Harpreet asks if Forbes will be affected. Josh can't wait for the DOJ to split Google up, and so on. So it's important to keep in mind that core updates usually take at least a couple weeks to roll out, so things definitely aren't finished, even though it does look like things already have been rolling out for a couple weeks. So I wouldn't rush to any conclusions quite yet. However, looking into my crystal ball here as far as what I think is going to happen with this core update, I don't really think we're going to see anything meaningful at all. I don't think we're going to see any kind of reversal. Sites that were hit, I don't think we're going to see much of any kind of recovery. I think we can expect Google to continue moving in the direction that they've been moving in, which is trying to fight this kind of automated content and really having a vendetta against what it seems like affiliate sites and ads-based sites, or what the community calls content websites. But again, this is just my opinion. This is my prediction. It's just based on trends and what we're seeing overall in the community at this time. If you haven't already, I highly recommend looking at Google's helpful content guidelines on their website. But if you've been watching my channel for a while, we talk about this stuff quite in depth, quite often. Having original content, having good levels of EAT. If you're using AI content, editing it significantly, trying not to be a spammer. And at its core, really trying to actually create good content that people like and have good user experience, rather than just trying to rank on Google, right? However, like I mentioned before, it really does seem like Google is disproportionately targeting ads-based sites and affiliate sites, so something to keep in mind. So if you got hit in a previous update or by this update, what should you do now? First of all, I would say let these sites sit for now because we have not seen any recoveries yet, so you really don't know what's going to happen. And if you start investing a lot more money and time into a website that never recovers, then you're not going to be very happy with that decision, right? So by letting your site sit for right now with no money investment, you are just seeing how things play out. You're not wasting any more time and money. And if other sites do the hard work and figure out what it takes to recover, then you can try to replicate that rather than trying to be a pioneer. Next up, you can try removing your ads and affiliate links. However, I don't know if this is enough to get a recovery, or else everyone would be talking about doing this. Most likely it will take a lot more than just this. It'll probably take removing ads and affiliate links and improving your content significantly. Next up, you could consider getting a new traffic funnel to your website. So you're using the same website, but you're getting traffic from a different place, not from the Google search. You could try driving traffic from a YouTube channel, from social media, or using paid ads on Facebook or Instagram or even Google. Next up, you could try improving your EAT. However, I'm really not sure if this is enough for an HCU recovery. And the same thing kind of goes here with these Google helpful content guidelines. If you haven't got hit yet, I would highly recommend doing these things. However, if you did get hit, I just don't think it's enough to recover at this point in time. Remember that it could take one or multiple core updates to show improvements, even if you're making changes. But Google did make the change to the documentation saying that they can actually see ranking results and improvements just from a few days after changing things. But yeah, I would kind of take that with a little bit of a grain of salt. Lastly, you could consider moving content onto a new website. So you could repurpose the same content, just putting it on a different domain that hasn't gotten hit. However, there is a chance that that new domain will eventually get hit as well, right? So you'd probably want to change your monetization, meaning no affiliate links, no ads. This is kind of a last resort. But instead of doing all of this stuff, what I would be doing is letting my site sit and then focusing on other aspects of SEO if you're kind of dedicated to this industry. So you could do local SEO, rank and rent, e-com, websites that sell some kind of service like our link building agency. You could do SaaS, you could work on building your email list, or you could work on driving traffic from social media and YouTube. So I really wish this was a more positive video, and it seems like every kind of update, I'm making the same kind of video at this point. At least for now, it seems like this is just the new reality of Google, that things that used to work for a very long time are no longer working. I would be very nervous about investing any kind of money in any kind of project that is essentially a content website monetized with affiliates and ads. But I'd really want to focus elsewhere. So I will, of course, be paying a lot of attention during this update, trying to see if there's any kind of recoveries and what's going on in the community, as well as doing some testing on my own sites and monitoring things. And if you liked the video, go ahead and give it a like and give my channel a sub, and I will see you next time, guys. All right, bye-bye.